Okay. So in the today's class, we will talk about NG template. Okay, what is an NG template? NG template is also an HTML tag. What do you mean by HTML tag? What is the
Like any text that starts with the arrow
start tag, some content, and end tag is called
and end tag.
tags. Correct? Yes.
Yes,
So
Anush.
NG template is an HTML tag. Okay. The syntax will be like this: NG template. Okay. And we need to know when we should use this NG template. Okay. Now for that, let me please tell me what are the structural directives present in the Angular?
Star NG,
Okay. And
Star ng
star
for
NG for
okay. How to use
star NG switch.
how to how to use star ngf?
Use it for if conditions.
Okay. If condition in where?
HTML file.
The HTML file. Okay. Let me give it. I am creating one div. Okay. And let me give star ng if condition. Okay. And let us give one boolean here. Okay. Testing ng template variable. Okay. And it is of the type boolean, and initial value, let me give it true. Okay. And let me use this variable in the HTML here. Okay. And if it is there, I want to just show Anusha heading. Okay. Now what will happen? Now, whether this particular HTML element will get rendered in the DOM?
It is true, it will be rendered. It is false, it will not render.
Okay. Now, whether it will be rendered in the DOM?
No, Anusha.
Why?
It is false.
Yeah. Since the value of testing template variable is true, and we are trying to compare it with false, both are not matching, and ng if evaluate to false, and this div will not execute. Am I correct? Yes,
yes,
sir.
Anush.
Suppose whenever this condition is failed, okay, if we want to execute any other or if we want to render some HTML element, what we can do? We can give normal if else, right? If else, and we need to give some name. Okay. For example, else block. This is the name. Okay. Now we need to give the reference. For that, we will be using one thing called ng template. Okay. You will give something like ng template, and you will give the reference of this else block here. Okay. Like hash else block. Okay. And it will print div, and inside the div, let me give one h1 tag. This is else block from, okay, ng template. Okay, let me just save it and show you. Are you able to see?
Yes, Anush.
So what I mean, if suppose if condition has failed, and whenever it is returning false, it's like if else, right? If the condition is satisfied, if block will execute, otherwise else block will be executed. That else block, you will give some name. Okay. and you will denote it with as ng template, and whatever name you are giving, you will give the reference. Okay, reference is done through hash. Okay, it will take this block and this part will execute. Okay, suppose if I say just a block, now how should be my ng template? Do I need to make any changes here? I'm telling, if the condition is true, this block will get executed, div block. Else, this block will get executed. So you need to check whether there is any reference called block in the ng template. Is there anything with tag ng template here?
There is
Else.
ng template.
What is the value of that reference? What is the name of this? What is the
Else block.
else block? Okay, what we have given here?
Else black.
Block.
This is just a block we have given. Now what we should, in order to execute this, what we should replace it with?
Black. Ash black.
Ash black. Okay, that means you are giving the reference of this ng template here. Okay, reference means accessing using hashes. Okay, and you can still see this is one. Okay, suppose let me give else block here, the name, and if you try to render it, now you check, you are getting error, right? There is no property else block does not exist on the type app component. Any doubts, anyone? You understood, right?
We need to give reference only through that hash.
Yes. Whatever name we are giving here, that only we should give it here. Otherwise, we shouldn't give it. It will give us an error stating that that property is not available in the DOM at all. Okay. This is just the name for this ng template. That's it. Nothing other than that. Any doubts?
Okay, Anush. No doubt.
Okay. I will repeat it again. Suppose if the else condition is not satisfied, if condition is not satisfied, and if you want to execute some else block in the HTML, you will be using something called ng template, where you will be giving the reference. Okay. That reference you will give it in the else. Okay. Any doubts?
No doubt, Anush.
Okay. Now, this is regarding ng template. Now, let us talk about what is ng container in the Angular. Okay. So, we said the structural directives are what? Star, ng, if, and
Star ng.
Imagine, okay, your use case is like, there is one name array of objects. Okay, you have something called name list. Okay, which is array of objects. For example, you have name Jansi. Okay, and age 22. Okay, and likewise, you have 3 names. Okay, now what I am trying to tell you, I want to show one div. If names list is present, okay, then I want to iterate that names list. Okay, if to check if the names list is there or not, what you will do, we will give star ngf. Am I correct?
Yes,
Suppose
Anush.
you want to iterate over that name list, what you will give? Star ng for you will give in the template. Am I correct? Are you
Yes,
understanding?
Anush. Yeah, understood.
So what we will give like that? We will have one div. Okay. And let us create one variable here. We already have these objects, right? Let me give one more name here. Okay. I want this div to be executed only when objects were present. Okay. What is the value of objects right now?
Name Swati, name Jansi.
Very good. Okay. If the name object is there, then what we want to do, we want to iterate over this loop. Okay. Let object of objects. Okay. Now what you will do? You will display something in your HTML. Okay. Like object dot name. Am I correct? This is how we will do it, right?
Yes, Anush.
Now we will get an error. Okay, I'll tell you why we will get an error as well. You have seen the error, right? Cannot have multiple template bindings on one element. Use only one attribute prefixed with star. What is the meaning of it means? In a single HTML element, we cannot apply two star elements, which are star ngif and star ngFor. We cannot apply them only on one single HTML element. For that purpose, what we will do, we will create something called ng container. Okay. So these code will be modified as ng container. It is also one HTML tag. First, what we will do, it will just check if the objects were present or not. Okay. Then what we can do, we can create a div which will iterate over the loop. Okay. So these doesn't take any HTML space or anything like div h1 paragraph like that. This is just acts like a placeholder which just checks this condition. If it is evaluated true, this block will get executed, otherwise no. Any doubt?
No, Anush.
Jansi, Kavya, or shall I repeat it once more?
Repeat it.
Once more, or you understood?
Understood, Anush.
Very good. So when to use ng container, we cannot use a two structural directives like star ngif and star ngFor on a single HTML element. For that purpose, we will be using something called ng container, where we will be using one of the structural directives. In the other div, we can iterate over the with other structural directive. Okay. No doubts, right, Kavya?
No, ma'am.
Now, these are star ngFor, ng container and ng template in the Angular. Okay. What is the purpose of ng template?
Else black will be used for. If condition is failed at the time we use ng template.
You need to tell whatever you have understand. Basically, we will use star ngif to check a condition in the template. Suppose if we want to execute some else block, we will be using something called ng template. You need to tell. Okay. Just understand it and tell it in a simple words. Got it? Now, what is the use of ng container? What is the use of ng container?
One ng, one single element is
If
not
two
used
I mean,
in
in one HTML tag,
Okay.
two attributions will not. I mean, it will give error for us. So to avoid that, we have to give the ng container.
Very good. Okay, you understand it and you will be able to convert them into simple steps, simple words. Okay. Now, let us talk about guards in Angular. Okay. Mm, Guards are nothing but services. Okay. Yeah, give me a minute. Yeah, let us talk about guards in the Angular. Tell me how to do routing. What is routing? Are you there? What is routing? What is routing in Angular? Array, tell me. Today I will not shout anyone. Tell me.
Wait a second, Anusha. Let me just think.
Okay.
It is used for navigate purpose.
Yes. Routing is used
Yeah, we
for
have to.
navigation. That is moving from one component to another component is called routing. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Okay. Yeah. How to do routing in Angular?
Using router that
We can do that in two ways, I think.
Okay.
In HTML and
Okay. And in the TS. Correct? How to do the routing in the TS? How to do routing in the from the TS?
at the rate
Yeah, Jansi.
of inject is using.
Sorry.
At the rate of route.
You need to use something called
it's like what we call. We have to import.
Inject
We have to use that inject in constructor.
we need to use something called router, and that we need to
We have
import
to use
in the
router
Angular.
constructor.
Okay. Okay, then what we will do?
Then we have to give path. I think we have to give path.
We need to give where we should navigate to. That how we will give using this dot router dot navigate method where you will be giving the path for your routing. Let me show you. Are you able to recall? We'll give something router dot navigate and you will give the path. Where you will find the path in the entire application?
this
Dot TS.
You will find it in where?
Dot TS.
this
Which dot TS file?
App dot component dot TS.
Module.ts.
App routing module dot TS.
Yeah, app routing dot TS.
Okay. In the component itself, you have this statement. Okay. You need to check this path in app routing dot module dot TS. I'm telling you again, only it will come with practice. Just practice and come for the next class. Otherwise, it will be everyday pending task for you. And without practice, you will not learn anything. It's up to your wish. Okay. Yeah. And what we will give in this app routing module.ts?
import route
We,
module.
we will
We
write
have to give a decorator.
we will write some routes for the components. Am I correct? So what is that path we will give and the component we will give? Okay, path and the component. For this path with component, which component should render? Okay. We can even we can even control this navigation using guards. Okay. Suppose suppose you are a customer of Amazon and and there is one admin for Amazon, okay, who will control everything. As a customer, if you are trying to enter with only your credentials, you will be able to log in your dashboard, okay. If you try logging with your credentials, whether other people pages will get loaded. Suppose Amazon accounts we will have, right? Suppose Teja has one Amazon account and Jansi has one Amazon account. Okay. If Jansi gives the credentials of her Amazon account, whether she will be able to log into Teja's dashboard of Amazon?
No, Nisha.
No. And even if you are giving any wrong credentials, whether we will be allowed to go inside the dashboard?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So those kind of restrictions and all can be done by route guards, okay, in the Angular. For example, if you are a customer, okay, let me show you something. Okay. Suppose if you don't have a card and if you try to give some credentials and if you try to enter into this website, whether are you allowed to enter this or not?
No,
No.
Nisha.
No.
That kind of restrictions can be done using the route guards, okay. We need to implement our own route guards, okay. Route guard is nothing but it is also one service, okay. How to create any service in Angular?
In that service.ts.
File name dot service.
Sample guard service.ts, okay. What decorator I will be using here?
At the rate of injectable decorator.
At the rate injectable decorator, okay. And what else will be present in the service?
Name, service name.
Export class
We have to export class
and then
and our file name.
service
Sample
name,
guard.
sample guard service, okay. And since you want to, there will be many guards available, I am telling one example of a guard called can activate, okay. What is the guard name? Can activate, okay. So what is this? I will tell you, okay. And if you want to use this can activate method in your component, okay, you need to implement on one interface called, what is the interface name here?
Can activate.
Can
Can
activate.
activate is the interface. Does this interface is containing any variables?
Yes, Nisha.
Is it containing variables or functions?
Yes.
What it is?
Yeah.
Function or variable? What do you mean by a function?
Function. Function name with the braces.
What is there here?
Route to state is there.
What I have asked, what is present in the can activate? Variable or a function?
Variable.
So variable it's a name. Can act.
Variable or a function? You people are not even able to identify what is a function and what is a variable.
Location on site.
Function.
It's a function, right?
It's in it's a function. It's in braces.
It is in braces. Then it's a function, right? Why are you telling it's a variable?
Yeah.
What are the parameters this function is taking?
Route to state.
Okay. What is the data type of route?
Activated route state snapshot.
Activated
Is it-
route snapshot. What is the data type of state?
Router
Routes.
state snapshot.
What is the return type of this function?
Boolean type.
Boolean.
What is the return type here?
Observable.
You can see after colon, you are containing this much of line. After colon, whatever it is there, it is a return type. How will you know what is the type means? You can see till here to here, there is one arrow. Am I correct? This is the symbol for OR. Okay. You are telling it might be observable of Boolean or observable of URL tree. Or it is a promise of Boolean or promise of URL tree. Or it can be a directly Boolean or it can be a directly URL tree. These are the many different data types. We can get any one of them. That's why we are using the OR symbol here. Any doubt?
No, Anusha.
Okay. Now tell me, what is the method present in the CanActivate? What is the method present in the CanActivate interface? Which method is present?
Function.
Function only. Function method is same. What is that function name?
Can activate.
Can activate.
Okay. What is the return type of this function?
Observable Boolean.
Observable of Boolean
Or
or
you should read
observable
out
of
observable of
URL tree.
Boolean or observable of URL tree or promise of Boolean or promise of URL tree. Then what is it can be a Boolean or it can be a URL tree. Anything it can return. Okay, these things, anything it can return. That is the meaning. Understood?
Yes, Anusha.
Okay. Now we will try to implement CanActivate route guard in our service. Okay. Now, now what is the interface name we are looking for?
Can
Can
activate.
activate.
How should my class use the CanActivate here? So can I just simply give CanActivate here? Will it work?
Import to can activate.
We need to what? Implement, right?
We have to implement that in can activate interface. Yes.
We need to implement on interfaces. Okay. You need one thing called CanActivate. Okay. And what is the error it is telling?
As sample guard incorrectly implements interface can activate.
Okay. And then
Property can activate is missing type sample guard service.
now what should I do in order to remove this error?
We have to declare can active.
We need to declare the CanActivate function. Okay. And you can see, let us give a return type of one simple data type, which is Boolean. Okay. Okay. Now, whatever we want, we can do the logic here and we will finally return true or false. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, Anusha.
Suppose if I am returning false, okay. And whenever we have used any whenever we have created any service, what we should do?
First, we have to declare it in module.ts file.
We need to provide it in the module.ts file. Okay. In case of components pipes, you will do the declaration. But in case of the services, you need to provide where?
We have to provide that in providers.
Yes, very good. Okay, you will give just comma and you will give the name and you will just import it. Okay. Now we will go to the sample service. Okay. Now we need to tell for which path we are making the restriction. Okay. For that, we will go to app routing module.ts. Okay. Here we can give one more parameter called can activate. Okay. And here I can give it as an array and I can include my, what is the service name? sample got service. Okay. Suppose if this sample got service returns true, let me use it here. Okay. Jansi, your
Sample.
voice is breaking. Are you there? Are you able to hear me fine? Yes or no? Just say yes or no.
Yes, Anisha. Yes, Anisha.
Yeah, she's saying yes.
Yes, Anisha.
Okay, okay. So if this sample guard returns true, then we will be able to navigate to this path. Suppose if this service returns false, we will not able to enter to this component. Okay. Now let us go here. Let us save this file. Okay. Let me go here. Where is that? Localhost. Okay. And if you remember previously, if we are clicking on the second, then we will be loading the second component. Correct? Now let me click on this. Are you able, suppose if I click on first component, you see first works. If you click on third component, you can see third works. Similarly, if you click on second component, which component should get rendered?
Second component.
But is it rendering?
No, Anisha.
Why? We have
We are
given one auth guard called CanActivate. We will be able to navigate to this page only if this auth guard service resolves to true. Okay. If it resolves to false, we will not be able to navigate. Okay. Right now, what is the value of this route guard? What this route
false.
guard? False. Suppose if I give true, okay, and let me just save it. Okay. Now, let me just refresh the screen. And now let me click on the second component. You are able to see, right? Second works. Am I correct?
Yes, Anisha.
Yes,
So,
Anisha.
in real scenario, we will be doing like if the person is authenticated person, then we will return true. If the person is not authenticated person, we will be returning as false. Okay. Like this, we will be using the user instructing some components. Any doubts?
No, Anisha.
So the CanActivate is used for like a security purpose.
Yes, it's like a security purpose. They are guards. Guard meaning security guard, no? So you need to take permission from them, then only you can enter that any apartment or anything, something like that. Similarly, there are guards in Angular. This CanActivate guard is, if we have given a permission, we will be able to enter that component. If we are not giving the permission, we will not be able to enter that component. That's it. Understood?
Yes, Anush.
Jansi, Kavya.
Understood.
Now let us create one more guard. Okay. Now you people should tell me how should I write one service file. Now tell me what should I do first thing.
How to create sample service name that service.ts
We
file.
need to create one service file. Okay. Let me create is name guard dot service dot ts. Okay. Then what should I do in this service?
The rate of injectable.
Decorator.
We need to use the decorator at the rate of injectable. Okay. And then next.
Export class and file name sample guard
Export
service.
class.
Sorry, name guard service.
Name guard service. Okay. And then,
Implements
okay, implements on what?
CanActive.
CanActive.
Activate interface. Okay. And then,
And then we have to declare it CanActivate.
we need to declare can activate method. Okay. And what we should return from this?
Anything, we can take Boolean again.
Yeah, we can just return some boolean from it. Okay, some return false. Okay, now whenever any service is created, what we need to do? What is the next step?
Next, we have to go to module that
We have
TS
to
file.
provide that in provider.
We need
And
to
it
provide
is
it in the module
providers, it is
called providers. Okay, we'll go here. You'll just keep one comma and you will give it. Okay. Any doubts so far? No. Now, how to implement
Nisha.
this route guard in app routing module for the third component I want to implement? How can I do that?
can activate.
You can give command, you can write can activate,
We need to give one
and we can give the file
parameter
name.
called activate, and we will give the what is the name? So this name.
Name that
Now, whether I will be able to navigate to the third component or not?
no.
That-
Why?
Let me click on the third. We are not able to
It is
navigate.
false.
Jancy, actually your voice was breaking. Are you saying anything? What are you saying?
It is not showing.
Yeah. Suppose if we want to navigate to that component, what we should do?
We can return true if
It
it's
is
true.
We can return just true from this component. Okay. Understood? Any doubts in anything?
No doubt on it.
Okay. Okay. What is the use of ng template?
For star
NG
ng for if statement is false, we can, I mean, if it's false, we can give else.
Okay.
else black we are using.
Yeah, else.
If we want to execute some else block in the HTML, for that purpose, you will be using what?
And star ng template.
ng
RNG
template. Okay. Structural directives only starts with star. ng template is normally a HTML tag. Okay. What is the use of ng container?
In any
Well-
HTML tag, if two attributes cannot be fit. So to avoid that, we will use that ng container.
We cannot use both star ng and star ng for on a single HTML element. So in order to avoid that error, we use something called ng container. Okay. And let us talk about next concepts. Now I'll ask some questions. Okay. I am creating one variable here. Okay. Private name sample name is a string, and I am assigning value Anusha to it. Okay. And what I am doing, I am trying to access this in my app component.html file. Whether this will give me any error or not. It will give me an error or it will execute.
It will execute function.
It will execute. How many of you people will say it will execute?
I think it's not.
Okay, why? Why it will not execute? Tell the reason now.
Yeah.
Not sure about it? Are you not sure about it?
Not that much. Maybe
Kavya?
we didn't.
Sorry, proceed. Kavya?
We did.
Yeah, Teja, proceed.
Nothing, Anusha. Just you can carry on.
What is the keyword I have used before the variable name?
Sample name.
Sorry,
Private
what
variable.
is that keyword I have used before the sample name?
Private.
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 If we are declaring any variable with a keyword private, whether it will be accessible outside of this file? This is in the first class of the Angular itself, I have told. If we are naming any variable with a keyword private, which means that outside of this file, we will not be able to access it. What is the file name here?
Component.
App.component.
Component dot.
HTML.
What is the file name here?
App.component.
App.component.ts.
Where you have declared your variable?
App.component.ts.
Whether it will be accessible in app.component.html? Whether it is accessible or not?
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
Because it is private.
Because it's a private and outside of this file, we will not be able to access it in any other file, even in the components. Okay. Only in the TS file, you will be able to access this sample name. Suppose if I want to access this sample name in the HTML, what should I do?
You will take sample name string public.
Public, which means that either removing this keyword, by default they will be public, or by adding one keyword called public before the sample name. Okay. Any doubts?
No doubts.
Okay. Okay. What I have done here?
We created a button.
Okay.
With event click. If you click
Okay.
me, we will get sample details.
Okay.
Data.
Okay. Then what will happen whenever we click this button? What will happen?
We'll get sample data.
We will get it, or are we doing any invocation here?
we're invoking that.
So what will happen after invocation? What will happen after the invocation?
Yeah, click this display.
Sorry? Sorry, Jansi, can you repeat?
Console.log.
Console.log. Hey,
Console.log.
yeah, what will be printed? Hey, I am clicked will be printed. Am I correct? Now, what is the keyword I have used before the function name here?
Private.
Private. So, if we are declaring anything with a word with a keyword private, whether we will be able to access it outside of this function, outside of this file.
No.
So, is this correct or wrong? Is line number 15 correct or not?
It's wrong.
It's wrong. What will happen now if we execute the code?
You'll get an error
We'll get an error.
or it will not execute.
It will execute and we will get an error. Okay. You are able to see, right? Property get sample data is private and only accessible within the app component. Okay. Suppose if we want to access it in the HTML, then what changes we should do for this method?
You will give the public.
We will either give the public name or
Remove private. Remove private.
remove the keyword private, which is public by default. Okay. For how it will happen for variables, same in the case with functions as well. Okay. They can be even private and public. If they are private outside of that file, we cannot access them. Okay. That's it for today's class, and we will do a recap in the tomorrow. Any doubts, anything, anyone?
No doubt, Anusha.
Jansi, I'll try to connect with you tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye, Anusha. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.